health situation in relation to Mr. Byan, it might be urgent that he be taken out as soon as possible.
We were told by our reporter that he was taken outside and he was vomiting. Facing Andre Blackman Byan. Apparently, the Chief Justice is relying on his registrar, to give him the number of years,
21 and a half plus 6 and a half plus 11 and a half. That's a total of 39 and a half. Got that? Got that, Madam Court Reporter? Okay, right. So, that's it then for Mr. Byan.
That's it. 39 and a half years for the leader, the convicted gangster, the leader of the Klansman gang based in Spanish Town. Andre Blackman Byan will face 39 and a half years after being found guilty. And a long, laborious set of numbers and process by the Chief Justice of Jamaica. That is it. Blackman Byan is facing 39 and a half years in prison.
Now to the details. Convicted leader of the Wandon faction of the Klansman gang, Andre Blackman Byan, has been sentenced to 39 and a half years in prison. Chief Justice Brian Sykes imposed the sentence in the Supreme Court a short while ago. Earlier, Bryan's sentencing hearing was delayed due to health concerns. Byan was removed from the dock after holding his chest. It's reported that he was experiencing stomach issues. He returned to the dock as Chief Justice Sykes was imposing the sentence on Tomrick Taylor. Meanwhile, convicted member of the Wandon Klansman gang, Tomrick Taylor, has been sentenced to 9 years and 6 months in prison. Taylor, who is also known as a Fancy Ras, was only found guilty on count 2 of the indictment for being a member of the criminal organization, an offense that carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. Taylor, a cousin of Byan, has been in custody for a total of 5 years and 6 months, which were deducted from the sentence, and another 2 years for mitigating factors. Chief Justice Sykes handed down the judgment in the Supreme Court about an hour ago.
Start at 17 years. No aggravating factors to take it up. And as I am concerned, mitigating factor to bring it down would be the absence of previous convictions, which in my view would bring it down 2 years to 15 years. And so we are told that he was in custody for 5.5 years. So we take the 5 from the 15. That gives us 10? And then 6 months, another half a year taken out. So that takes us to 9.5? 9.5. And so now, Mr. Taylor, your sentence here now for being membership of not a criminal organization, but this specific criminal organization now, sentence then on count 2 is 9.5 years.
In handing down the sentence, Justice Sykes noted that Taylor's social inquiry report indicated that he has accepted responsibility and acknowledges his role as a member of the gang. However, Justice Sykes pointed out that throughout the trial, Taylor was adamant that the witnesses were lying. According to Justice Sykes, Taylor's admittance, it was a tactical decision made to have himself presented to the court as being remorseful. The Chief Justice says he doesn't accept the move as Taylor is trying to curry favor with the court to get a lighter sentence.
This suggestion now that he's now remorseful, I don't accept. I think he's now trying to curry favor with the court to say, well, if I say that I am now a member, if I say that I am remorseful, I will end up with a lighter sentence. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint Mr. Taylor. That simply won't work here. Oh, this idea that he is remorseful, I don't accept it at all.
Chief Justice Brian Sykes, and the sentencing hearing is continuing. In other news, the 14-year-old BB Cook High School student, Jaheim Coleman, who was assaulted by a senior student at the school on Thursday, says he's willing to forgive his attacker. Jahim was left unconscious after being beaten in the head, face, and upper body. The teenager was reportedly attacked after he accidentally stepped on the Clark's shoes of the senior student. Mahira Stewart reports.
Jahim was transferred to the University Hospital of the West Indies over the weekend to undergo a CT scan and receive additional treatment. His mother, Chantel Goldburn, while speaking on Nationwide this morning with Ricardo Brooks and Tana Thomas, provided an update on his condition.
Good news, Jaime is improving so well. Only one problem Jaime have now is his eyes. His eyes are still in a little bit of pain, and a little bit of swelling is still around the eyes. So they're going to keep him a little while until that is looking much better.
Jahim was carried by his friends from the campus to a medical facility in the Junction Town Center close by. Miss Goldburn says his friends sprung into action after two security guards at the school offered no assistance.
They told me that two security guards was sitting down, not moving, and while the other one was trying to get the other students apart from getting into any more conflict there. And he was laying there. The security guard didn't rush to get the principal or anybody. So they said they didn't want to waste any time, so they just pick him up and go along with him to the doctor.
Meanwhile, Miss Goldburn says her son has already expressed a willingness to forgive the senior student who assaulted him.
The only thing he said to me, Mommy, I think I can forgive that young man.
Oh, God.
Because he don't have a bad heart. He just, keep malice. So he said, Mommy, he even telling uncle, I think I can forgive him.
The senior student, who is accused of assaulting Jahim, has been charged with assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. He has also been suspended for 10 days. The school board is expected to meet and decide on any further disciplinary action against the student.
Head of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, is commending the female licensed firearm holder who apprehended escapee Troy Ellis over the weekend.
First of all, I just want to continue to extend thanks to that female who really took a very brave approach and brought him back into police custody.
Ellis, who was being held on suspicion of the September 23 rape and murder of 8-year-old Italia Thompson, escaped police guard at the St. Ansby Hospital over the weekend. Police say a female firearm holder was driving along the Discovery Bay Main Road when she spotted a man matching the description released by the JCF. The woman is said to have apprehended Ellis and turned him over to the Discovery Bay Police sometime after 10 Sunday night. Ellis is now facing an additional charge of escaping police custody. Meanwhile, SSP Lindsay says that the formal advice from the constabulary is for civilians to call the police if they spot a fugitive. She also says the persons must make a sound assessment before they act.
The recommendation is always to assist, but you should also assess the situation. And I think based on what we get from her, she believes that having assessed the situation, she wanted to play her role as a citizen because a lot of people were looking out for this individual because we knew that it was somebody that really needed to be back in police custody. So she assessed the situation and she made a judgment call, and it was a good call.
SSP Stephanie Lindsay, head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit. She was speaking on Nationwide this morning. Head of the Jamaica Constabulary. Now, the police have launched an investigation into what appears to be an arson attack at the home where a Jamaica Public Service Company JPS contractor was shot and killed over the weekend. The deceased, Orlando Blake, was shot and killed after he reportedly entered the home of his common-law wife, who was asleep with another man early Sunday morning. It's understood that the woman and another man were asleep at her home when the man was awoken by sounds. Nationwide understands that the man saw Blake standing in the doorway with an object in his hand. It's further understood that Blake advanced towards his common-law wife with the object. This reportedly led the man, who is a licensed firearms holder, to reach for his gun and open fire at Blake. Blake was subsequently rushed to the hospital by his common-law wife and the male licensed firearm holder. He died while undergoing treatment. Meanwhile, in the latest development, the police are investigating what appears to be an arson attack at the woman's house. It's understood the woman's car and garage were seen on fire Sunday night. The Jamaica Fire Brigade was alerted and the blaze was extinguished before it spread to the rest of the house. Commanding officer for the St. Catherine North Police Division, Senior Superintendent Howard Chambers, is appealing to the public to come forward with information that could help investigators solve Monday's double murder near a bus stop in McCookspan, Spanish Town. Dead are 55-year-old Varun Keppel of Big Lane, McCookspan address, and Angela Weatherburn, who is from a West Kingston address. The police say residents heard loud explosions about 4 a.m. and later stumbled upon the bodies at the bus stop. A male and a female were seen lying face down in a pool of blood with multiple gunshot wounds to their upper bodies. The police have yet to establish a motive for the killing. SSP Chambers spoke with Nationwide News Monday morning.
So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to the citizens, appeal to the members of the community, if they have any information, irrespective of how simple the information you might think it can help us. So please pass this information to Crime Stop 311, Police Emergency 119, and also Spanish Town Station 984-2305. We want you to help us to solve this one.
Senior Superintendent Howard Chambers, commanding officer for the St. Catherine North Police Division.